Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Net Crochet Tejido. In this video I'm going to teach you how to crochet this beautiful hat. It's very easy to do. It's the same way as the baby hat that I did a few weeks ago. The only difference that the baby hat have a flower. I did a little bit of embroidery and I did a flower. This one is just a simple hat. That's why I chose a speckled yarn. That way they have something on as well. But it's really nice, very easy and very fast to do. And I hope you guys like it and give it a try. And here is the list of material you're gonna need to make. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the little bell. That way you get notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I make my video in Spanish and English. If you receive a Spanish video and you want to see in English, go to the main page of my YouTube channel that you will find the English version in there. To make this crochet hat, I'm gonna use Bernard Wool Up Worsted Tweed Canadian Heritage Collection. It's medium 4, caramel tweed is the color. 80 grams, 77% acrylic, 20% wool, 3% viscose. The crochet hook, 5.5 millimeter. You're gonna need tapestry needle and scissor, measurement tape. I'm gonna use this pom-pom that I bought at Michael's, so I'm gonna need a pom-pom and a button to sew it inside. That way I can wrap this part of the pom-pom to secure it in the hat. I'm gonna start with a slip knot. And I'm gonna do a chain of 10 for the brim. If you want this wider, you can do 12. If you want a little bit more narrow, you can do 8. For mine, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Plus 1 to turn your work around. And I'm gonna work my first single crochet and the second chain from the hook. And I'm gonna do a single crochet on each chain space for a total of 10 single crochet. I wouldn't do a yarn over. I'm gonna chain 1, turn my work around, and I'm gonna do a single crochet on each single crochet in the back strand. So you go to the first one. You always have to work in the first one, otherwise you'll be skipping a single crochet. In the back strand, you do your single crochet, and in the next one, and so on. You see, you have just 2 strands, the front and back, and then the one in the back, you do your single crochet, leaving the front strand in here. I'm gonna work in the last stitch, and this time I'm gonna grab the 2 strand, no 1, just the 2. That way it's nice and straight in the border. And you do your last single crochet. You're gonna chain 1. You're gonna turn your work around, and if you look here, when you chain 1, and the second one here in the back strand is where you're gonna work your single crochet. All is in the back strand. And again, you're gonna work your 10 single crochet. Remember the last one, you pass it through the 2 strands. That way it's nice and straight in the border. I'm gonna work the last single crochet in that chain space on the border. I'm gonna chain 1, I'm gonna turn my work around, and I'm gonna do those 10 single crochet again. Always finish the last one in the chain space of the border. That way it will be nice and even. And you're gonna continue working those 10 single crochet in the back strand until you have the desired length for the circumference of the person's head that you're making this hat for. So if it's an adult, you'll measure on yourself, and when you have around this much space without stretching your work, that are almost close in your head, and then that will be long enough. Because if you stretch it, you will see that those two ends will meet, and that will be perfect. But if you work this all the way around, that the two ends meet at the same size of your head, when you put the hat on, this stretch, and that will be a little bit too big, the hat for yourself. So you always have to leave a little like that before it close in your head. That will be for the stretch of the work. So you're going to continue working this until you have that done. I will work on mine, and I will let you know the measurement of mine, just in case you don't have a measuring tape. You want to know exactly the measurement of mine, I will let you know, and how many rows I do for mine as well. But it's always working those 10 single crochet, and the last one you always do it in the border. That way it's nice and straight. In total I did 65 rows. This one is 1, and this in between the two bump is 2, and that's how it's easy for you to count that way. So 65 in total, and I measure 18 inches 46 centimeters long without stretching, just like that. Now we're going to close the ends to create the circumference for the hat. I wish I had left this longer to sew this with my tapestry needle, but I forgot. So I'm gonna close with a working yarn, and then after I will flip it over and work on the right side of the piece. Once you finish closing the circumference, later you will lose that tail. You're going to chain 1, and in that space you're going to do a single crochet, and we're going to do a row single crochet. But every 6 to 7 stitches I'm going to do an increase of 1 stitch. That way we make room for the circumference of our head. So here, and this one coming up, I'm gonna do 2 single crochet in the same space, And I'm gonna continue working a single crochet on each single crochet and each space, and once in a while I will do an increase, 6 to 7 stitches, and then you'll increase. So I increase in this one. Let me do a couple more. I'll increase again in this one coming up. 2 single crochet in the same space, and like that you're going to continue working all the way around until the end that you finish with the slip stitch and the first. I'm going to finish with the slip stitch and the first single crochet. This hat will be exactly the same design except for the embroidery part that I did for the hat a few weeks ago. I did mine from newborn to 3 months, and I gave the measurement until a 10 years old kid. I have a request and how to do it for adult. This is the adult version, except I don't gonna do any embroidery in mine. That's why I choose this color yarn with the little specks, and I will place a pom-pom in the top. If you want to do some embroidery, I recommend to use a more neutral color that don't have the speck. That way you can see more your handwork. But if you don't, you can use any color yarn, even a blend. So you're going to chain 1. You're going to turn your work around. This part is a little different from the baby's hat. And that's a space where you have that slip stitch, that strand. You're going to do a single crochet. You're going to chain 1, and that counts as the first half double crochet. You see, on top of that single crochet that you have there, where you did the slip stitch. So you're going to do a half double crochet on each single crochet. If you like, you can do single crochet and double crochet. But since I did the hat for a baby with single and half, I will do this one exactly the same. Especially when you live in a country that is very cold like me. The warmer the hat, the better. So I'll continue working my half double crochet all the way until the last single crochet in here. I'm gonna finish with the slip stitch on the chain space. I'm gonna chain 1. I'm gonna turn my work around, and in the same space at the strand of the slip stitch, I'm gonna do a single crochet, and I'm gonna do a single crochet on top of each half double crochet. You see, it's a very easy work. You're just repeating those 2 rounds, one of single, one of half double crochet. And just by turning your work around, this will be nice and straight. So I will meet you here at the end when I finish this round with the last single crochet. I did the last single crochet, and you look at my work, you have one more space in here. But since when we turn our work around, we did our first single crochet and the slip stitch. That is the stitch that usually go there if you're working in the round, but we're going back and forth. So if you do another stitch there, you'll be increasing a stitch. So you do the slip stitch, and you see the first stitch will go in this one, not in the one on this side. So you'll chain 1, you're going to turn your work around, and that slip stitch, you're going to do a single crochet, chain 1, and that counts as the first half double crochet, and you're going to do a half double crochet on each single crochet space. And that is the repetition that you're going to do for the hats, just like that. So I'll meet you here at the end of this row. I did the last half double crochet. You see, in this space I don't work any because I already have it in this side. So I started with 69 stitches, and I still have my 69 stitches. So you have to count the first row how many single crochet you did, or in the second row how many half double crochet, and then you'll keep track of those number of stitches. That way, each time you do a row, you count them as you go, and you will know that you are not increasing or decreasing a stitch that is nice and even. So I'm going to do the slip stitch in that chain space that is on top of the first half double crochet. I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to turn my work around, and that slip stitch I'm going to do my first single crochet, and I'm going to work single crochet all the way around. When I get it to the end, I will give you the measurement of my work and for how much longer I have to work. Well, I finished that round or row and I have my 69 stitches. Now I'm going to do my slip stitch on top of the first one, and I'm going to continue with that repetition until my hat measure from this border 9 inches for adult. And you see the seam is nice and straight. So I will meet you here when I have my 9 inches of the repetition of those two. I finished the length of the hat, and from the border here to this row of half double crochet and measure 9 inches, and then after that I did a round of single crochet. That way when I cut the yarn and with the tapestry needle I'm going to weave that tail all the way around that border to gather the top of the hat and close or hat. For the baby hat I did some decrease, but for this one I just gonna do that. And look, this is the seam, nice and straight, and you don't see as much as when you work in the round. This going back and forth and give a better finish to the seam of your hat. So now I'm gonna chain 1, cut the yarn, leaving a tail long enough to close the top of our hat. Now you can sew the tails in the inside and this one in the border, and then I will sew the button in the inside, and then I will secure the pom-pom in the top. But if you like, you can leave it like this without a pom-pom as well. I sew a button in the inside, and I did a little off to the side, because if you sew the button right in the center, you don't come past the elastic through, in order to wrap around the button a few times to secure your pom-pom. Well, this is the leftover yarn from that ball, and here is the hat. It's a simple stitch, just the combination of single crochet and half double crochet, and it's really, really nice. So this is the front, this is the back where you have the seam. You see, it's almost seamless. So the only thing that I have to do is sew the handmade tag, and it's ready for a gift. And it's really, really nice. So I hope you guys like it, and give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. And if you make this pretty hat and you want to send me some pictures, you can do it through my Facebook page, Rubinnet Crochet y Tejido, or my Instagram, Rubinnet Crochet y Tejido. Please share my video with friends and family, that way you help me grow here on YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day.